Hey all, Michael here. I want to release a product, but I want to make sure to confuse as many people as I can so only a small percentage of fans of my product will buy it. Oh, that's been done apparently.
The Nintendo Switch. The world's third best-selling console ever, only beaten by the Nintendo DS and PlayStation 2. This console is so great because it has the ability to switch between a handheld mode and a TV mode. The library of games is nothing to scoff at either. While there's a lot of shovelware, the games from the AAA companies are always great. We got games like Mega Man 11, Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Sword and Shield, just name a few. The console appealed to everyone and is simply a great console that brought revolutionary changes into the gaming market. I mean, before the Switch, consoles were either handheld or home consoles, but with the Switch, it's both. With the Switch being so successful, it was bound to get a successor. After all, people have been talking about one since 2020. In November 2024, though, a leak from the US Patent Office showed fans what their new console would look like. Just a short while later, on January 6, 2025, Nintendo announced their newest console in an announcement trailer. The new console is called the Nintendo Switch 2. Yeah, it's boring.
But every Nintendo console that was a successor to a different console at least had a name with an interesting addition. The Super Nintendo was the successor to the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance were successors to the original Game Boy. And besides, if Nintendo did this to avoid confusion, there's many other routes they could take to avoid this. If a kid asks their parents for a Switch 2, and then the parent goes to a store and sees all the Switch 2s are sold out, because that's always what happens with new consoles, they might see an original Switch and think, oh, it's the same thing, and just buy it, because parents do that a lot with technology.
I really hope the name is going to be changed, but I think we all know that's not going to happen. And what makes it even more confusing is that every other time Nintendo has named console 2, there were just revisions. The NES 2, also known as the NES Top Loader, and the SNES 2, also known as the SNES Junior, weren't sequels to their respective consoles, they were just hardware revisions. Also, it's just so boring and unoriginal. Simply Switch 2, and it's copying Sony too. Fortunately, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be compatible with original Nintendo Switch games. Mostly. The trailer says that most games are compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2, but I think that the games that are going to be exclusive to the original Nintendo Switch are just things that need the original hardware shape, like Nintendo Labo only fitting in the Nintendo Switch's original screen shape. But while I don't like the name or the design of the Switch 2, I am excited for it. The new games are going to be great, and I can guarantee that. Mario Kart 9, or whatever it's going to be called, looks great so far, and there's even a new style as well. I do think that this Mario Kart is definitely going to be more quality than quantity in comparison to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is amazing, no doubt, with all those levels, some are bound to be worse than others. Like really, who likes Paris Promenade? I think Mario Kart 9 is going to be really good, and I hope it's better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While the Switch 2 is very unoriginal, it appears to fix the hardware issues the original Switch had. The Switch had a bad kickstand, the Switch 2's kickstand goes around the whole base and is adjustable. Joy-Cons are too small, new ones are a bit longer and bigger. You don't like the sliding mechanism? This new Switch uses a snapping mechanism. In fact, the only thing the original Switch does better than the Switch 2 is the color scheme. The original Switch comes packaged with nice vibrant Joy-Cons, but the Switch 2 is entirely black, just a striped blue and a stripe of red. I'm assuming Nintendo will have different colored Joy-Cons available on launch date, so that won't be that big of an issue.
Overall, the Switch 2 isn't that big of a surprise. It's something people have been expecting for a while now. Nevertheless, it's interesting to see Nintendo try this new tactic of just releasing a console's launch trailer without much information about a console's price or launch date. But it was just incredibly abrupt when Nintendo just announced the trailer in one random morning. But still, I cannot wait until April when Nintendo's going to announce more information about the Switch 2, such as launch date and price and some games that are going to be available when the console releases. This console has potential to sell more units than the Nintendo Switch original. I just know Nintendo cannot mess this up in any way.